Do you know what a landfill is? Do you think about landfills much? Well, they think about you. Garbage is an enduring feature of humanity. For at least 10,000 years and probably tens of thousands of years, human beings have made garbage. That's true, we have. And in fact, in the United States, we have more than 6,000 landfills. This is where we take our garbage, put it into the earth in a big hole that we dug, and then cover it over and pretend like it doesn't exist anymore. You know, out of sight, out of mind. The majority of the garbage, 80% in the United States, ends up in landfills. Does that make you think about garbage in a different way at all? It certainly makes me think about garbage in a different way. In fact, when I was at Long Beach State as an undergrad, I did a study on landfills in Southern California. It was pretty scary. And I had a colleague when I was at Cal State Northridge doing my graduate work who actually studied landfills. She would drill down with a pipe into landfills and pull things up in layers and see what human beings have been depositing there, in some cases even with indigenous people, for a very, very long time. There's problems with too much garbage and with what happens in landfills, which is sometimes seepage and leachate. This is the decayed material that kind of becomes soupy and then gets down into the earth. And that can foul the freshwater table, put toxic chemicals into drinking water and into agricultural land, put heavy metals into those places, industrial waste, methane gas that escapes as this material decays, all of those things. Generally, the way a landfill works, as you look at this diagram, you can see landfill in the dark gray. You put material in there, but if the landfill is not sealed properly, and of course the older ones were not, what would happen is the material would then soak down into the loose material of the earth. And you can see water table. Well, that material would then soak down into the saturated zone, which is the subsurface area where all the pores and spaces are filled with water. In other words, this is where we get, both of us, you and me, get our drinking water from in a lot of cases. And in Southern California, a vast amount of our drinking water comes from local well water. But then you can see that what happens is water flows down slope under the ground just like it does above the ground. And if you look, those down gradient wells may very well be sucking up some of that material that has leached into the water table and the saturated zone. And it goes into the rivers. How's that look? I don't think anybody really wants this next to their house or anywhere near where they live. You can imagine the smell of it and just get an idea for how big that trash mountain is, because you can see that tractor up there on the top, the bulldozer. The way we have gone about trying to prevent too much leachate from getting out and problems with this is the hole is dug, they compact tight clay, so the clay is compacted so that it's essentially not permeable. Then they take plastic, like that black plastic you see there, lay that over the top, put another layer of the clay, put trash in it. Once you put the trash in that, then you compact that and then put another layer and another layer of both the clay and the plastic. The problem is that, yeah, this is going to work for 50, 100, maybe even 300 or 400 years. But eventually, of course, it's going to break through.